Hey everyone, my name is Renee. Welcome to Blessed and Beautiful. And if you're a visitor here, welcome in. Come on in. If you are part of my Slady Squad, thank you for stopping through one more time. And I know I'm not dressed up or made up. I'm in bed. You guys, Oreo passed last Saturday. If you don't know who Oreo is, he was our resident dog. And my aunt gave him to me back in 2014 as an emotional support animal because I was going through my second surgery due to Crohn's disease. And so he was 11 and he had really slowed down. He stopped being able to jump on the bed and to jump on the furniture. Like in the living room, he used to jump up on the sofa. He had really slowed down. We thought we had a few more years with him because, in dog years, he was 77. But he started limping and we didn't know why. We thought maybe it was an injury from jumping or maybe pulling in the harness. But as time went on, the limping just got worse, like over about 3 weeks. It just kept getting worse and worse. He would yelp out when we would pick him up, and he started licking his paws a lot. And I thought he was like itching from being groomed, but we looked it up and found out that it was joint pain. And to ease their joint pain, they would lick their paws. Yeah, I miss him. He just kept getting worse. We went 3 weeks ago and got a second dose of his gabapentin, and he seemed to have picked up and gotten a little better. He kind of came out of the slump that he was in, and I remember us playing, and he started going back out for walks and things like that. But one morning he got up and he just couldn't walk, and we would take him out to do his pee and poops, and he just didn't do anything. He kept falling over. So I got a third dose of the gabapentin and also a muscle relaxer, but he still wouldn't pee. And they said that he had to at least pee every 12 hours, I think it was, or to go to the ER. We went to the ER, and they said that it could be a number of things, but you guys, if you have pets and you don't have insurance, get it. It was just so much money. We had already spent $400 getting the medication for him, and when I called my aunt crying and telling her that we had to take him to the ER, and that his visit was going to be about $300, she immediately paid it, and she was like, get him to the ER, and let's just go from there and see what happens. And so while at the ER, they asked for blood work, $1,100. They wanted him to see a neurologist. That was just the consult was $485. The MRI, $3,000 to $4,000, and then she didn't even give us a price for surgery. And that was all just to see possibly what could be wrong. Team editor, who we call young editor now because you guys, he's 20, he wanted to pay for the consult, and I told him no, because the consult wasn't a definite of letting us know what was wrong, and because we also would probably be referred to get the MRI. I just felt like the $485 would have been money not well spent because we couldn't afford to do anything beyond that. And it wasn't, even if they said, it could be this, he still wasn't peeing. And because of that, that just trumped everything else. So we got a he got a steroid shot. But we found out while we were there that he was a level 3 heart murmur, a 3 out of 6. And she said that the having the steroids could put him into cardiac arrest. And he was breathing very fast, a rapid breathing all throughout the night. It slowed down a little bit once he went to sleep, but he just kept breathing very rapidly. And he did drink some water, and he did eat. He don't turn down snacks, so he did eat his pepperonis, and he did eat a little of his there's a sweet potato, kind of like a jerky almost, that's wrapped in duck. He loves those are his favorites, so he did not turn that down, but he still didn't pee. So the next morning, we went back to the ER, and we kind of went early, because in order to make it all one visit and not be charged again, we had to come back within 24 hours. And we had taken him out 5 times to pee, and he didn't. A couple of times he tried to walk around and sniff like his norm, like he was going to try to find a spot. But because he kept falling, he just laid down. He was like, I tried to hold him up myself to see if maybe if I held him like in a position, maybe he would pee. He wasn't a dog that would lift his leg. He would kind of squat. So I thought if I kind of helped him get into a squat position, maybe he would pee, but he wouldn't do it. I don't know if he couldn't pee or if he was just frustrated and just didn't want to, or a combination of both. So when we went back to the ER, the same doctor was there. She told us that he did look more perky than he was the night before, and that was due to the steroid. He actually kind of hobbled his way away from her to my daughter, and she was like, well, he's up a little bit. I said, he's trying to get away from you. And so it was kind of like a bright light, but she couldn't get him to pee. She pressed on his bladder, and she said maybe if I can get a little trickle, maybe he'll try to go on his own, but he wouldn't. He just wouldn't. So we went ahead and decided to put him down. We didn't want to, but I also didn't want him to suffer. And the night before, he had crawled up in my arms, kind of like just make the pain go away. He didn't bark anymore. He just kind of made this, he would make this noise like, and I was like, what do you want? What do you want? And so he climbed up in my arms and was like, just tired of being in pain. So we went ahead and let them put him to sleep. We stayed with him the whole time. They were really sweet. They waived the fee because I told them we just didn't have any more money. And they came back and said that they wouldn't charge us. So if you don't want to hear about this part, you could fast forward. I think I'll put like a timestamp in. But this may help someone. So they took him in the back. They gave him an IV, and they put him on like a rolling bed, and they had him cushioned in blankets and had him covered and wrapped and everything so he would be comfortable. And they took us to a room that was like a grieving room, or I forgot what they called it, but the lights were turned down low. There was like a wave machine in the background to kind of, make it nice and quiet. And there was a button on the wall that you would push when you were ready to have the doctor come in. So after they brought him in, we just stood around him. We said a prayer. We thank God for allowing him to be in our family, and ask God to take his body. And it was kind of hard because he was looking at us like, why is everybody crying, and what's wrong? But they said that makes the pet feel more comfortable and not be as edgy, about everything. So we pushed a button on the wall, and the doctor came in with the 2 syringes. The first syringe had a sedative in it, and when she gave him the sedative, he kind of let out this long breath, and that stuck with me a long time. His eyes and that breath, just, I couldn't tell if he was glad that he didn't feel pain or if he was scared. I'm not sure. But after that, she waited a few minutes, and then she gave him the second syringe, which was the one to put him to sleep. I'm just glad that we were there for him, and he went peacefully. He didn't seem to be in any distress or anything. So after the whole procedure, they brought us a really cute paw print and a lock of his hair, and I'll put a picture in of that because I don't have it right with me. It's in the living room, and they had a door that was from that room to the outside so that we didn't have to go back through the ER where other families were crying or whatever. So it was a very peaceful passing, and they were just so kind, and we couldn't afford much after that, because there's like a cremation fee of $100. If you didn't pay that, they bring the dog back to you, and you can bury him yourself or whatever it is that you do. And I was surprised that Poppy was against burying him in the backyard, because the amount of stuff that they do on Halloween to make the house like haunted with all these skeletons and ghosts and stuff. I was like, oh, he'll be fine. He's like, no, we're not burying him in the backyard. So he paid to have him cremated, and they're going to spread his ashes at a farm. But they did bring us the paw print and the hair. So he passed peacefully. So I hope that this helps someone. This is also, to let everybody know who's loved seeing him over the years, that he's gone. But he enjoyed being on camera and taking pictures and stuff. So I'm glad that, he was our resident dog at Blessed and Beautiful. If you have a pet and you ever have to put them down, I'm hoping that this video helped you know that it is a difficult decision, but you can't, help them through that suffering, and don't let them suffer too long. It's going to be a hard decision. It's going to be hard, especially if your pet is like Oreo was. Oreo wasn't a dog. He was like our other family member. And on my mom's street, he was well known. Everybody on that street knew him. And so the people sent my mom lots of nice messages, and the kids all made cards and books with pictures of Oreo and brought them over to them, and said that they were sorry. The little girl across the street, her dog just passed last year, I believe, named Kenya, and she said, don't worry, Oreo's with Kenya in heaven and Kenya will watch over him. So it was so sweet. So he was like son, our brother, our grandson. He was so sweet. Sometimes I think he didn't know he was a dog because they would put him in a stroller and push him around like he was a baby. And my mom bought him a swimming pool, so the kids would all come and play with him in the pool. And he was such a sweet dog. Never bit anyone. He's never aggressive. And except for a few of Jalen's toys when he was a puppy, he never chewed on stuff. He very rarely had any accidents in the house. He's a really good dog. Really good dog. So I do want to say though, if you are able to get insurance, I'm not sure how much insurance would have paid for us, but we had none, and so we couldn't even get like blood work or anything done. So if you have a pet that you really love and you know is going to be with you for a long time, get the insurance. Definitely. I think they have enough different options out there for people of all, you know, income brackets. So do your research, but get something that's good and that you can afford. So I want to thank you all for being here through this video. And some friends have already sent some messages, so thank you very much. I'll be back soon. I may try to record today. I'll try. I need to do something else. But it's 1 o'clock and I'm still in bed, and today's the first day of me by myself. So my son just left to go to work, and his work is closer to his dad's, so he went to stay up there for the week, and he may be back down this weekend. My daughter spent the day with us yesterday. They both took off work. My son was watching me like a hawk because I just broke down on Sunday in church, so he's just been keeping an eye on me. He told me he would call and check on me. My mom's been calling, and my aunt sent this really beautiful plaque that has like a space for his picture and a little saying on there, and she said something else was coming with his picture and his birth date and his sunset date. So yeah, so I hope this helps someone out there, and I'm sorry this is as long as it is. It was supposed to be a little bit shorter, but you know, if you've made it here this long, please put like some praying hands or a little dog or something in the comments so that I'll know that you hung in there with me, and I thank you so much. And again, I'll be back with some more videos with makeup and beading very, very soon. And so thank y'all so much for being here.